What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Silver Screen Shenanigans podcast. My name is Devin, and the question of the day is, in the newish film, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, should they have recasted Chadwick Boseman's T'Challa? I'm going to go with yes, because I think there's plenty of other actors out there that I think could fill, like you said, that leadership role and be just pretty cool. I think one that sticks out in my mind is John David Washington, who was in Tenet, and that was also a pretty wild movie. And I think he showed off how he can be pretty comfortable in an action or protagonist role. And I also think that the character of T'Challa is just way too important to be gone for a while, because jumping ahead, we'll see in this movie there is going to be a second T'Challa the second type deal.
Yeah, there's a power gap though.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, it's going to be a while before he's of age.
What's it called?
Power vacuum?
Yes, thank you. Yeah. There's going to be a power vacuum while T'Challa isn't there.
Yeah.
Obviously. That's what this whole story is about.
Right. And there's there's so many people who see T'Challa as their hero. And also it's insane to me in this story of the villain of this movie that T'Challa is not in this movie fighting him, because as comic book readers know, Namor and T'Challa have eternal beef. So I think it's just for all of those reasons, it's they should have recasted him, because I don't think it's disrespectful at all to recast him, because one, the MCU's been recasting people since day one.
Well, they just recasted what's his name as
Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah, Thunderbolt Ross.
He's going to be played by Harrison Ford now.
Month of him passing.
And I think it's unfortunately something that happens.
Yeah.
Because obviously people die, which sucks, but I think you have to be prepared for that, and I don't think that the fictional story should suffer. You can still pay homage to them, in the movie, in some way, be creative, but I think you don't need to recast them.
Yeah. I'm Riley. I think I told you I would say that that they should, but I agree. I 100% agree. I believe that Chadwick Boseman kept it a secret.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
He kept it a secret from everybody he worked with and everybody that in the
Such a warrior.
media.
Such a warrior, dude.
Absolutely.
Nobody knew. He was filming, I think it was was it 21 Bridges? Yeah. Then he was dying, and that's crazy.
I don't think that he would have done that if he wanted the character to die.
No.
I think him pushing himself to further along the story for this character wouldn't want to see the character pass with his passing, which of course it's very tragic, his passing.
Sure.
But I really thought that if they took it and they have all this opportunity with all the multiverse to bring in not only a new Iron Man, but a new Black Panther as well. I just see there's possibilities there that they didn't take when they put this movie out.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it's very sad that he passed.
Sure.
But they probably should have recast him, because he is a huge part of the storylines that go throughout all of Marvel Comics.
Oh, yeah.
Because even when he's not the Black Panther anymore, or I guess when he's, right, he doesn't make because Shuri becomes a Black Panther and he becomes the king of Wakanda.
Yeah, at one point that happens, yeah.
So there's just a lot of things that we don't get to see now because they decided to kill off.
Yeah. I understand why, but I just think it
it's-
was the wrong move.
Yeah. It's to pay homage to him,
Sure.
but they could have done it in a different way and still given the character its full glory.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, this one starts off like...
Sad.
Yeah. Super sad in the chaos of it. Shuri's trying in her lab, desperately trying to, like, create the flower power, the purple flower, because as we remember, Killmonger in the last Black Panther movie, set most of them on fire, and the last one was used to give T'Challa his power. And I guess I don't know. This one wore off, I guess.
So they say that he got some
Sure.
disease that they couldn't fix. I think he might have got cancer. As he did in real life.
Yeah.
I think T'Challa, quote unquote, got cancer, and she was trying to create an antibody to help fix that.
Well, in the movie, it's like she's trying to recreate the flower,
Yeah,
which would give him the power of the Black Panther. So, like, I don't know, did the last one like wear off and he like needed more, or like because the sickness was like taking away the power? I don't know.
It's very confusing at the very beginning.
Chaotic, yeah. And yeah, Ramonda, the Shuri and T'Challa's mom, announces to Shuri that T'Challa's dead. That blows. So yeah, I remember I was watching the movie with you in the theater, and then yeah, when they said that, I was kind of like, all right, I'm out of this for the rest of the movie. I hate this decision, so I'm. But so I guess like now though, it's this you gotta attempt anyway to like see what story they're trying to tell from here on out.
This whole movie. So this is still Phase 4. This is the last movie in Phase 4.
I think so.
Because Quantumania starts Phase 5.
Yeah.
So, Phase 4, all of them really sad. Let's be honest. Multiverse of Madness,
dark.
Love and Thunder, he lost the love of his life.
Even the villain of that movie is also a very tragic villain.
Yes. And now this.
Yeah.
T'Challa dies. This whole movie is just
rough.
set
so rough.
sad. It's Phase 4 really just ends with just sadness.
It's like tragedy. So it jumps a year later, and Wakanda is I guess it's like a UN type deal. And they're talking about vibranium and about how the French have attempted to steal at one point. And I did see some kind of funny memes though, where like the prime minister, the president, I don't know which one, of France was talking about how dare you insinuate that France would steal from another country, and it's like, yeah, France has never stolen from a third world country in the past.
Well, they brought in all the hostages.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, yeah, didn't do it. What about these guys?
Here are the mercenaries that.
That, and don't we get to see a ship get attacked by somebody?
A little bit later.
Okay, sorry.
So
it's been a little bit since I've seen the movie.
Yeah, it's been like a year, hasn't it? I think it's been like almost a year, hasn't it?
Months. It came out last semester.
Feels like it's been a year,
yeah.
dude.
It's been a while. November.
So Ramonda reminds them that even though the Black Panther is gone, that Wakanda is like not going to run away with its tail between its legs. So yeah, then I think it's that night, a mining outpost, an American mine at the ocean, that is
searching for vibranium.
Yeah. That its tech was heavily influenced by a teenager named Riri Williams, who's an MIT grad. they're using this to find vibranium in the ocean, and suddenly they become under attack by like these. At first, it's like a siren song type of deal.
Yeah. They start jumping in the water.
Yeah, like all the people start on the like the mining crew. Yeah, start just hucking themselves into the ocean, and then the two leaders are like, "What?
What is going on?"
I think they plug their ears.
Yeah.
And they get on the helicopter and they fly out, but then like Namor rises up and he throws like a spear or something and like crashes the plane or the helicopter.
There's a flying guy out in front of him in the helicopter, and he throws something through the helicopter and crashes it.
Yep.
It's crazy.
That's pretty wild.
And then they blame it on Wakanda.
Yep. So I think also maybe it's a couple nights later, back in Wakanda, Ramonda and Shuri go to like the outskirts of like this stream of water, and they mourn T'Challa.
They burn their ceremony. They're
like white garments.
Ceremony garments.
Yeah.
To truly move on.
Yeah. And Shuri is not ready to move on. Which is understandable, because it has not been that long. It's only been a year.
Yeah.
But out of nowhere, Namor just kind of walks up onto the ocean, and they're just, at first they're like, well, how did you get past the defenses? I'm like, I guess bro's just stealthy. Bros.
They can swim. I mean, their defenses are like a gate, and they don't go into the water, I guess.
Yeah, the border tribe. Where you at?
They're rhinos, I guess. They were petting their rhinos.
The rhinos need to swim. So he reveals that like the existence of like the Talokan. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. His people. He wants their help to stop like foreigners taking vibranium. Because we find out that we thought all the vibranium was in Wakanda. Nope. Turns out it's all around the world.
Yeah, it's in
possibly.
the ocean floor.
Whoops, lost my place.
He then threatens them, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, he says that Wakanda is not the only place that has vibranium. Ramonda like kind of tells him off, worried about like the presence of another people having vibranium.
Yeah. Because she's been worried that with all of their openness to the world, if bad people got vibranium, they'd make terrible weapons. And
Namor's biggest concern is like he wants complete like isolationism. He wants him and his people to be left alone. And he says that he's going to kill the scientists who made this like vibranium detector, I guess, because that's like a risk to discovering of his people. So yeah, they're like,
probably got to save this child.
Probably got to stop him. So yeah, Shuri and Okoye, they go to meet Everett Ross again. Who goes way out of like his line of duty, not supposed to do this. He gives them the location of Riri Williams, which is like super private information that he's not supposed to do. So then they go to Cambridge in Massachusetts and they find her. They follow her to her garage, and we kind of see like her Mark I, I guess, because like the cops show up.
She flies out on it.
And she flies out on her Mark I.
I wish that Mark II looked a lot like Mark I. I thought the first one she had looked really cool. It was almost Hulkbuster-esque with how like thick and clunky it was. It didn't have any kind of, because she's building this without any kind of funding So it's anything she can find, like out of microwaves and fridges that people throw away, which is really cool. But
yeah,
just the
Riri
design
Williams
of
is
all of
fine.
them.
The actor is fine. She's totally cool.
The design of their stuff
It
could have been worked on just a little.
100%.
I don't.
And
I've never
also,
seen the comics, so I don't know.
I just wish it. I think it would have made, as from a storytelling perspective, I think it would have made. I mean, obviously she's not old enough yet, so you'd have to like hold off. But I think Morgan Stark as like Ironheart in the MCU, I think that would have been heartfelt. It would have been perfect, lined up with the story. She like wants, continue her father's work, avenge him. I think that's also like the what's the word I want to use? Not really problem, but like difference. I'm blanking on the word.
Yeah,
But like
I don't
like my suggestion, I guess. Like this, and like you said too, like the later designs of this suit, it's like, ooh, no.
Yeah. I want to like. It looks like a Pokemon. It doesn't look like an Iron Man suit
It's
or
like
any kind of iron suit.
Yeah, it's like an anime Power Ranger type deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not. Doesn't seem real. Like
It doesn't seem like possible.
It like that first Iron Man suit.
Which is why I really liked Iron Man, because everything he had on him looked possible.
Mm-hmm.
This one, it's like, okay.
It's a cartoon.
It's just, yeah.
It's
It's cartoony. Not, yeah. I don't know.
So, yeah, they're followed by the FBI.
Of course.
They get away. Okoye in the car and Shuri on a motorcycle and Riri in her armor. Suddenly, the Talokan show up, and they wreck them. Like, like there's this big dude that like squares off with Okoye, and Okoye stabs him in the chest, and then he just gets up.
That's terrifying to me. If I stab somebody in the chest and then they get up and combat me, they win.
Pulls like a Michael Myers and just keeps coming. And
immediately, you win. Congratulations. Please leave me alone.
They take Riri, and Shuri like follows suit, doesn't she? I'm pretty sure
she jumps in after them and gets taken as well.
Yeah, Shuri and Riri get captured. Ross arrives at the scene the next day.
She left her beads though, so they could find her.
And I guess there is a little bit of connected. Oh, excuse me. A little bit of connectedness here. Ross meets with his ex-wife, Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, who was in. She shows up at the end of, I think, Black Widow. Because she's the girl. She's like that black-haired lady,
the bad lady
who talks to what's her name? What's her sister's name?
I can't think of it either.
I don't know.
The blonde one. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Natasha's sister. And also she appears at the end of Falcon and the Winter Soldier to talk to John Walker. So she's like the recruitment lady for the Thunderbolts, essentially.
For the bad guys.
Yeah. The like shady Avengers, I guess.
Gotcha.
So she's here. Yeah, and he finds the bead and hides it. Back at Wakanda, Queen Ramonda is furious at Okoye for losing Shuri, because she has one kid left.
It's also her only job.
Yeah. protect the royalty.
You don't get it. I stabbed this guy, and he came at me again.
So she's pissed off at Okoye, and also brings up the fact that that she also sided with Killmonger. So she gets kicked out of the Royal Guard.
Of her duties.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Whoops. So Shuri and Riri wake up in Talokan, and Namor shows Shuri the civilization and tries to convince her of his like ideals, why he's doing the things he does. He even gives her his mother's like bracelet that she made for him way back in the day. And I think this is where we get the backstory of like the people of. So this was like 1500s when the Spanish were showing up, and what was the tribe's name?
The first thing you said earlier.
Yucatan.
Yes.
Yucatan people, they fell ill because
Smallpox.
the Spanish not only brought, ships, guns, and all the other good things, they also brought sickness. So they were dying with smallpox, and one of them finds like this goes to a river, I think, and they
find a blue flower.
Yeah. Flowers. Flower power. Name of flower power, man.
Crazy. Flowers are crazy.
Eats it.
And then starts suffocating.
Yep. And then is like runs to the water and finds more, gives it to the people. And they all start turning blue. So yeah, this power gives them all sorts of great abilities, like superhuman, like strength, stamina, yada yada, your typical like superhuman stuff. And yeah, the mother gives birth obviously to a bebe, and they call him Namor, and this dude is
the
like
Serpent King, is that what it is?
This dude is another level of strong. And I love that they I don't know, the change from like I think they changed his heritage to Mesopotamian in this one. I don't remember what it was in the comics, but like that's a change really that some folks might have a problem with. For me, like the change isn't like, I don't think it
huge.
Yeah, I don't think it's that huge.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it messes with his motivation at all. But I do appreciate his accurate design. They got the pointy ears. They got the little
bone through his nose.
I don't think that happens, but like it.
Doesn't he have a?
Yeah, right. In the movie he does.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
but like in the comics he doesn't.
Oh, gotcha.
And he also has like was it a widow's peak? Is that what they call it?
Yes.
Pointy ears, widow's peak, and the little feathers he has on, like the little feathers he has on his feet.
He looks like Hermes.
Yeah.
From like Greek mythology. Right, Greek.
Which makes sense why they're kind of going with they think he's a god.
Yeah.
So I'm glad
he can breathe above water.
True, he can do both.
Everybody else had to stay back underwater.
Yeah, because something about like his mother, right? His mother was kind of like a mixture of both.
His mother
was the one that ate the flower. Was she the one
flower,
the flower?
And he was in her stomach.
Right. So I'm really glad that they were faithful to the comics because instead of just they could have just given him the ability to fly with like no means of like how, but like no, they gave him the feathers, which is cool.
Absolutely. It's interesting because I don't think we have anybody in Marvel
who can straight up fly.
If I'm thinking, I can't think of anybody who can just straight up fly. Doctor Strange can fly because of the
magic.
cape of levitation.
Thor, I think
he can fly
for the most part needs his hammer.
Yeah. Vision
can fly.
Yeah. But he's not a person.
Yeah, he's a robot.
Wanda can fly because of magic.
Yeah, not like Superman.
Yeah,
no. There's like nobody who's
or Omni-Man or Homelander or any of those.
We might get one guy though.
Who?
Pretty soon, maybe Adam Warlock.
True.
Pretty soon.
That's true.
So, Russ.
Sorry, never mind.
So, yeah, Okoye kicked out. Bye-bye.
Yeah, that sucks.
Tough.
But when she gets kicked out, she goes and she meets
Nakia.
the old flame of T'Challa.
Yeah. And she, after that happened, we found out that she just dipped. Like, she left. Well, I guess Ramonda goes to, I can't remember which country it is. Third world country.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But she's a teacher there for kids.
In the Wakanda outreach program.
Yeah. And yeah, ever since T'Challa died, she has not been to Wakanda.
I don't think she even went to his funeral.
That's right. They do mention that. Yeah.
We kind of find out why.
Controversial.
We kind of find out why at the end.
True. But she employs Nakia to find Shuri and Riri.
And bring
because
them
one, she is more than capable of doing so, and Ramonda also trusts her. Right. So return to Wakanda for only more torment as Namor and his people invade. They freaking flood the city of Wakanda.
Yeah, they got water bombs.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Like concussive water bombs or something like that.
They got grenades that instead of explosive, explode water.
Yeah.
Which is so cool.
So Namor is like just straight up like dodging all the like
lasers,
all the laser beams and Wakandan like vehicles, and he's just taking them out with his spear. And then M'Baku, he's like I think he like taunts him somehow. Like he's like I would go after the fishman. And then he like challenges him, and then like he's running up to Namor, and then Namor just like turns around and punches him in the chest, and like his armor just shatters, and M'Baku just goes flying back with one punch and like
terrifying.
Taken care of. And I was like, oh my god.
M'Baku was strong.
Very strong.
And now he not.
Dude, yeah, when I saw that, I was like, oh, M'Baku dead. He did. So
is this where
Queen?
Can't remember. That's the sad part is my memory is so bad I can't remember cool things.
Yeah. So they're back. I guess that's what I forgot to mention. Like Shuri and Riri are back in Wakanda. Nakia did bring them over before the attack. So he floods the throne room, and Riri's drowning, and
so is the Queen, right?
and Ramonda dives to like get her, and he's bringing her up, and she's gets her up, and she doesn't save herself though.
Yeah.
And dude, what does Namor say to Shuri? I think he says something pretty cold, like as he's like in the window of like the broken glass. Yeah. He says something. I can't remember exactly what he says, but like it's a straight up cold line about like a dead mother and
you're weak. I bet it was like you're weak.
Kingdom's falling apart. Your mother's dead, and then it's like, yo, and then he flies off. So yeah, Shuri lost her brother a year ago, and now her mother's dead in her arms. It's like, woof.
Yeah.
And that's what I will say. The actor, I don't remember the actor's name. I should know. The actor for Shuri, it's her movie. Like, she's carrying it hardcore. Like 9 out of 10 performance, easy.
Absolutely.
After
that, she works on making the flower, right?
Yes.
And she uses the bracelet that Namor gave her to get more DNA of what other flowers could do to try to build the flower that gives them the
Yes.
Black Panther abilities. She successfully does it while Riri is building her own suit.
Mm. And yeah. Indeed, and Shuri's not queen.
Yes, they had another funeral ceremony, and she is not happy, dude.
Yep.
She is in a dark place.
She is seeing red, and fair enough. And also, Aguilera, Allegra, Ross's ex-wife, finds out that he's been communicating with Wakanda and is arrested. Whoops.
Well, no, I'm thinking of a different movie.
So
I was going to say, wasn't he in Wakanda?
In the first Black Panther?
Okay. I thought he was in this movie.
I don't think so.
My brain don't work well.
So M'Baku talks to Shuri after the mother's funeral.
Yeah.
And tells her that even after all this, it's kind of like not up to us to kill Namor. And he then tells her that he will provide housing for all the displaced Wakandans for following the attack, like his tribe will. And like you said, then she creates the herb, and goes to the ancestral plane. Which this is always some of the coolest parts in the Black Panther movies is the ancestral plane, because what's it do? It shows you the person that like
you most relate to,
or something, something like that. And dude, it tells you exactly where her heart is, that she sees Eric freaking Killmonger. Because she is seeing red at this point. Like, she is going to kill Namor.
And, dude, even he knows. Like, he's like,
whoa.
I should not be here.
He's like, you should not be seeing me.
But it's because in her heart, she just wants vengeance, which is all he wanted. She's not after saving
he claims
her
that,
people.
She thinks that... she thinks that they are not the same, and he goes, yeah, we have the exact same plan here, dude. They argue a bit, but
Shuri?
Yeah. She kind of comes to the terms with it that, she's going to kill Namor out of revenge. And then she successfully creates the flower power and her new suit, and comic accurate, which is dope.
Very cool.
And M'Baku has the pleasure of like saying that we have a new Black Panther.
Dude, the coolest part is that everybody is like in M'Baku's area.
Yeah.
And then she like falls from the sky.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Like out of like a little hole in like the mountaintop. And then it's pretty cool.
Well, wasn't one of it like they were trying to get M'Baku to take the flower or something, and he didn't want it.
Right.
He said, "These are my people."
Didn't feel like it was his place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, as a plan B, to give M'Baku the flower power.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good plan.
So in preparation,
why don't all Wakandans have flower power?
It's a good question.
I mean, it would probably help.
Now I can only assume that like she created the one.
Yeah.
But yeah, back then I imagine it was just because it was just for like whoever won in the combat deal.
Yeah. Because I mean, it gives you so much power. They don't want anybody to have
anybody. Yeah. So in preparation for the battle with Namor's people, Shuri and Riri realized that they could weaken Namor because like so if he's super strong in the water, maybe if they dehydrate him, he's weaker. And also, Shuri gives Okoye the new armor.
Yes.
I don't know, those kind of look goofy, IMO.
I thought it was pretty cool. It's like the What did they call her?
I think the thing that
She had
threw
her
me
own
off
cool name.
was the helmet.
Yeah.
The helmet was what throwing me off.
Doesn't it look like
It's
Iron
like
Man?
it's huge with like these like
weird
big
eye.
dorky owl looking
Yeah.
eyes, and it's like
What was its name? The Talon? No,
I don't know.
that's from DC. I can't remember.
He's pretty cool though.
Hey, a little bit. Works for the Court of Owls.
Yeah. And the Ironheart armor.
Yep.
The Power Ranger armor.
Okay, I wouldn't have an issue with the armor if it didn't look so smooth. Like, I don't
It gives me like Infinity War, his armor and that in the beginning of that. Gives me kind of those vibes, I'm not gonna lie.
If there was definite seams, like if it was made of iron, it would be cooler. But because they're like, oh, well, it's made of vibranium, so, there's no seams in vibranium because it's vibranium. But there needs to be.
T'Challa's suit looked pretty freaking cool, and that was out of vibranium.
Yeah.
So, they're fighting on the water, which doesn't seem like a great plan.
No, it really doesn't. Like, they're on like a boat.
Yeah. Out of their element.
Yeah.
But she lures Namor into like this like a Quinjet looking thing.
Yeah.
And her plan does work. She turns the heat up and like dehydrates him, and he gets weaker. And she's beating him up.
Then he crashes the plane.
He crashes the plane. And they're fighting on the ground, and
he runs her through with a spear.
Yeah.
Which, this whole fight scene, really, really cool. We get to see...
It gets brutal.
Yeah, because she has her repulsors, which is Shuri's weapon from all the other movies. And now she can actually use claws and all this other stuff.
Yeah. And I think the fight, like I said, the fight reflects like the emotions of like how brutal it is. Because it's just angry emotion.
Then he runs her through with a spear. And she truly has to come to terms with the powers that she has, right? Because then she pulls herself off the spear.
Yeah.
And goes and
she's like gonna kill him.
Beats him to a pulp.
Like she's getting close.
Yeah. She stops. Right? It's been so long. I should have rewatched it.
Yeah, he's like set ablaze. His back is like set ablaze, and he's like super weak, and she's about to kill him, about to finish him off.
He broke his ankle or something?
And then, one of the wings, I think, is damaged or something like that. But then, she remembers her brother, T'Challa, remembers the memories of the man he was, and knows that he would spare his life, so she does as well. He returns to Talokan. Namor has gratitude for the Black Panther, and returns to like the battle and says it's over. Riri is like, her suit is like taken away back to Wakanda, and she goes back to MIT. Shuri leaves the Haiti. That's where it was. Shuri leaves for Haiti instead of challenging for the throne, which M'Baku has the throne now.
Does that mean that he'll get the power?
I guess.
But they don't have the power because Shuri knows how to make it, which...
she can make another one, I guess.
There's so much things that I just don't understand.
Later, Namor
in front of the council
paints his room. And Namor assures her that like there's a new allegiance with Wakanda on his way to prison. Okoye breaks Ross out of custody. So in Haiti, Shuri meets with Nakia before leaving for the beach, where she burns her funeral ceremonial robe
for her mother.
For Ramonda wishes.
Well, I think it was for both of them.
And I think
she wore the same stuff.
And she was like finally has a moment to like grieve T'Challa. So then the mid-credit scene, Shuri learns that Nakia and T'Challa had a son.
This is why I think she wasn't at the funeral.
I think his name is Toussaint. I don't know how if that's pronouncing that right, but Nakia has been raising in secret to relieve him from like the pressure of the throne.
Yeah.
And he reveals that his Wakanda name is T'Challa, which is like, oh, that's
dude, that is so cool.
So
like I wonder,
that's pretty clear where we're going in the MCU is like in the future that we'll have another T'Challa.
Yeah, and another Iron Man with Morgan.
Yeah.
But,
Riri, but yeah.
I mean, in the future, you know.
Well, I hope they go that
new
direction.
Ant-Man with Scott Lang's daughter. We've got
a new Hawkeye.
We've got, you know, so it's just
the Young Avengers.
Yeah. But I think it's really cool. In my head, the reason she didn't go to the funeral is because maybe not.
Because
I was gonna say maybe she was giving birth.
Didn't want her kid to be at the throne, is what she says.
Oh, that totally makes sense. Never mind.
Because
how old
he
do
would
you think he, like 2, 3?
more than 2.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
At the mid-credit scene,
I don't remember.
Bro's like 7 or 8.
Wait, for real?
I think so.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, that's probably like, yeah, it was a sweet scene. But unfortunately, I think it's just kind of a, I mean, it was really nice. It's like a kind of a tribute movie, sort of to Chadwick Boseman. But as like a grade, it's just kind of another one of them.
I mean, you know, it's phase 4.
It's an okay phase 4 MCU movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably like a 6.5. Like it's just okay, kind of.
Yeah. Well, I really enjoyed the sadness of it, you know? I mean, it made me sad watching it.
Sure. Yeah, it conveys that emotion.
Because first she loses her brother, then she loses her mom, and basically her entire country, because when the water bombs and stuff,
true,
a lot of people died. But then there's a little bit of hope at the end, and that's really like a good way to end the movie. Honestly, is giving some hope for peace in the future.
It's the superhero formula.
You know what? That's a good point. I would probably give it like a 6 or a 7. I'm gonna go with 7 because it was a really good movie. I enjoyed the acting was very well. The special effects were amazing.
The Ramonda, the mother in this movie.
Yeah. You could see her fury with
performance of a lifetime for sure.
Definitely. However, the animation of the Ironheart suit was not what I wanted.
Mm-mm.
I don't know what Ironheart looks like in the comics.
Not that.
But I'm hoping it wasn't that. If you've seen the Power Rangers, the new
that's that
animated, not the animated one, the
live action one.
The live action one. That's what it looks like, but less.
Well, okay, I'll put up
less
quotation marks live action because it's like all CG.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Woof.
That and mixed with a Pokemon.
And I just for me, it's not the movie's fault, but it's the decision they went with, so it's kind of the movie's fault. But yeah. I can't get over the not recasting.
Yeah, I think it really sucks they didn't recast, but it's very nice that they did it in a way. They made the movie a way that it could continue without him.
A little bit later down the line, yeah.
But it really sucks that they're not going to be able to go with comic stories anymore.
Indeed. Well,
yeah,
that was Wakanda Forever.
Yep. This has been the Silver Screen Shenanigans podcast. Thank you all for listening, and we hope to see you next time.